photo also. Need a photo levana. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the second edition of Emotional Intelligence. We will just wait for 2 minutes before we start off, as we are letting everybody enter in. And good afternoon to our panelists, our chairman, Shri Dushyant Mulani ji, our honorary secretary, Shri Sudeep De, Southern Region Chennai Customs Brokers Association President, Sekhar sir, Dr. Nirav and Tej, the chairperson and co-chair of IIFF, and Ms. Rama, who absolutely needs no introduction and is the main guest and feature for today. Good afternoon to all. Dushyant, we are ready to go. We can start. We've got 72 participants. Shall we?
Very good afternoon, all. Thank you, Ms. Rama Ravi Titi ma'am. Your bandwidth, your resource would be very invaluable for all custom brokers and logistic service providers as we are here in the logistic field. And it would be wonderful to understand, learn from you the nuances of relationship, and everything is based on you can say relationships, how you maintain it in a profession. The decades of relationships are made or broken with few unwanted I would say an insensitive approach that one has while working together. And this aspect of relationship in a professional setup calls for a very in-depth and analytical approach we have to adopt, so that how do we get best out of our teams that we are working for the organization, not only the organization, but even from within the family, within the partners, directors, the top management, and even I would say that empathy that one should have while discharging one's duty in a professional manner. Unless we have this empathy, nothing, success is temporary otherwise. There have been organizations have been very closely following few of them, like the prominent ones are the Tatas and the Godrejes, but there are the TVS group, the Murugappa group. They are the ones who have been in existence for decades and now centuries also. How has this been possible? The basic thread which binds everybody is having a emotional quotient. Having an emotional quotient in your any communication, any interaction, any of your day-to-day discharge, when you discharge your duty day-to-day basis professionally, how to handle it? How do you empathize with a person who's working, be it your the housekeeping staff or your watchman, and right up to your CEO? That is where we come in for. That we should develop a bond first, create that congenial working environment, and that helps us for long-term sustenance. And I'm happy to convey, ma'am, that amongst our fraternity, there are organizations which are there for about 3 decades to 12 decades, they are here and they are still not only surviving, but they are thriving. So we are in a profession which is human centric. It's all interaction which matters. How you deal with a person, how you talk to him during the difficult time, turbulent times. If you are able to show the empathy, correlate, then the organization survives. Client gets best service, employee morale is up. So that is where I leave up to. Thank you for being with us here. I thank all the audience and our entire team out here for conceptualizing this. I have Mr. Shankar Shinde, IPC, Amit Kamath, Chairman-elect, Mr. Sudeep De, Secretariat. Your entire Secretariat has been really working beyond normal hours to ensure that we have back-to-back webinars and training sessions for our team. Friends, Sudhir Bhai, our OB in charge of training committee, and yes, Mr. Shekhar, President Chennai Custom Brokers Association. Thank you. Your recommendations for giving us a wonderful speaker like this is really appreciated. Thank you so much. And over to you, team.
Thank you, Dushan Bhai. Very inspiring message and very well said that if we do not have empathy for the people that we work with, our business would never succeed. Before I request Sekar sir to say a few words, may I please request Sudeep Da to say a few words?
So, okay, so good afternoon, everyone. Nothing much to be added after what Chairman has spoken, but let us make the most of it. My only appeal to the audience would be, let us make most of it. It might not sound as a very technical subject, but frankly speaking, we all understand that the bottom line is all about emotions and relationships and how we maintain them and how we take people along. And because anything we do today is, as Chairman also said, it's teamwork. We cannot do things alone. Our logistics business has become complicated. Yes.
Sudeep Da, sorry, somebody mentioned no audio. So can you please increase your audio? Thank you.
Sorry. So bottom line is relationships, and relationships are really valuable because there are work which we as logisticians can do just upon relationships which cannot be done with any other logic or paper or regulation or rules or act or whatever. So having said that, I'm sure Madam Ramatiti would be touching upon the points of how we can do a collaborative work, how we understand individuals better, how we can help them manage their emotions, create self-awareness, etc., etc., etc. So having said that, acknowledging the presence of all panelists here, and especially our secretariat and Sudhir Bhai, who's the OB in charge of all these training wings that we have, and also mentioning to the audience, taking the opportunity of being a bit out of line, that we have a Triple FAI convention coming up. Registration links have been shared and it is open, and we want 100% attendance. All these are kind of precursors. These webinars we are having are like precursors. The actual show is at the convention. So having said that, let us get ahead, Chaitali. We are eager to actually hear what is in store for us. Thank you.
Thank you, Sudeep.
Sudeep,
Sorry.
I'll take a minute here. Thanks to the IIFF team. I forgot in my address. President Tej, contractor of Indian Institute of Freight Forwarders, Dr. Neerav Thakkar and Chaitali, Women's Wing in charge. Thank you so much for pursuing this. Really appreciate your resourceful inputs in this. Thank you, Chaitali.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And before I pass on the baton to Sekhar sir, it would be unfair if Sudhir Bhai does not say anything because he guides us and he's our OB in charge. So Sudhir Bhai, can we have a few words from you? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Chaitali. Good afternoon, everyone. So today's topic about emotional intelligence, I will say in today's world when intelligence has become artificial, it is human being who has got emotional intelligence. So thankfully, emotional intelligence is with us. It is not with robots and machines. So at least with this emotional intelligence, we will be in a better position to maybe, take care of the world. And undoubtedly, this topic is very, very important because of rat race in which we are working these days, the competitive world where we don't find time for each other, leave aside emotions, emotional intelligence, empathy, teamwork. It plays a very, very important role. And I will tell you, any organization will not survive if it will not have emotional intelligence. It is only a matter of time. If you are not taking care of each other's well-being, emotions, sentiments, mental health. Mental health has become a big challenge now. So all this are very, very important in today's world, and this topic is pertinent to it. And I am thankful to our team who is working hard every week. In every 15 days, we are organizing one or the other webinars. Some are important to the topics of our business, and some are really important to our well-being. So thank you, IAF team and Chaitali. Let's carry on with with today's webinar. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sudhir Bhai. Very encouraging words. And Sekhar sir, the floor is yours now.
Good afternoon, Chairman. Good afternoon, panelists. And first of all, our sincere thanks to our Chairman who has given a bigger role to lead the Southern Chapter to take forward of IAF. And we are working jointly with the FFI, the IAF team. Thanks to IAF team who was working hard, the complete team, Neerav and Doctor, and all the people are working hard to see that IAF going to achieve another milestone. And with regard to today's session, emotional. As our chairman rightly said, though we have great knowledge, great sound in education, we have all the facilities. Unless we control ourselves and we have a controlled mind how to approach towards any business, that is plays a major role. We have seen many of them, though they have all the infrastructures and knowledge, everything, they could not succeed in their life because of since they are unable to control their emotions. Emotions plays a major role, as our chairman said. And today the topic speaker Madam Rama is a perfect fit for this topic. With this, I am introducing Madam Rama Tittai, who is great personality in conducting various training courses with regard to skill for growing children's, skills development for the adolescents personalities, skills for actions. She is a master on taking various classes across the nation, international level. And she is also master in NLP, Neuro Linguistic Program, and counselor.
Sorry to interrupt, Sekhar sir. We've got messages that your voice is not audible. Can you increase your volume, please? Thank you.
Now, okay?
Yes, better.
Better only.
It can be still louder.
So, she's a great personality who is conducting various classes towards the members, and as well as she is international certified trainer on skills for the growing children and adolescents, and action 16 minutes and above. They are, she's keep on having many classes towards industry and across the nations or all over global level. And she is also master in NLP neuro linguistic program. She is a counselor. So I have a very big list where she has so many achievements, which it takes more than half an hour to complete. And such a great personality today we have to take this session. The great thing is she is from our center, Chennai, and she is also a prestigious member of our Custom Brokers Association. And she also takes many classes in our women wings. So this is a perfect fit and perfect speaker on this subject. It is very hot, very great pleasure to introduce her. Thank you, Rama ma'am, and over to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for such kind words, Preston sir. And thank you, Chairman Dushyantji, for this opportunity. And of course, Chaitali being the pillar behind motivating all the women here. And to the whole team, thank you so much. I would like to share the presentation now. Yeah, can you see the screen?
Yes, ma'am. Very clear.
One minute. Yeah, is it visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Today we are having the second session on emotional intelligence. The previous session we discussed about what is emotional intelligence, like self-awareness, self-management, and then empathy and importance of communication. All that we discussed. Today we are going to see intelligence.
Miss Rama, your screen has frozen. Sagar, Ajinkya, can you please tell Miss Rama to rejoin again?
All right.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Sorry for the technical glitch. We will be back shortly. Just give us like a couple of minutes. Thank you very much. Meanwhile, while Ms. Rama joins us back, I would just, for our information at FFAI, since we have rolled out this program, if you could just mention in the chat box how many of you have attended the first session when we rolled it out in January. That would be nice and helpful so we know that we have return visitors also. Thank you. All right. If those of you, we had circulated the presentation to everyone, and we will have the video recording. I will look into it and we will have it.
Sorry for the problem. And there's a power shutdown and now it resumed.
No worries.
So, yeah.
We are all logisticians and we are all customs brokers and freight forwarders. All of this is pretty much normal in
I
our day life. So
know.
on to you, Ms.
Yeah,
Rama.
yeah. Okay, thank you. Uh, Yes. So, emotional intelligence, influence in teamwork and collaboration. Now, when we see why emotional intelligence is important for a teamwork and collaboration, because the global nature of logistics demands in today's culture the adaptability, resilience, and strong interpersonal skills, because the work environment matters a lot. If your environment is not conducive, if you're not feeling comfortable, then it becomes a stress and a problem. So it's very important to build the right team and the work environment. So emotional intelligence is crucial for navigating these complex challenges, like building strong client relationship and fostering a positive work environment. Now, when we define teamwork, we all know it's a coordinated effort by a group of people to achieve a common goal. That is the shared responsibility, and you have to be accountable for whatever you're doing. Only then the synergy happens. When I say synergy, see, I have put it in red, the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. Individually we might be talented, but when we join together, when individuals work together, they can achieve something much bigger than what they could do individually. So more knowledge, more coordination and cooperation, we can solve many problems, and also it helps to have a collaborated synergy which will help us to climb up the ladder. And at performance level, it definitely goes to the highest peak. Now, collaboration means again, it is again working together to achieve the shared objective. So, when you have to collaborate with people, what does it mean? It is not just joining hands and working together or lifting something together. It is not that. It involves the proper communication. Communication, when we talk about communication, it is not just what you want send an information to the receiver. It is not that. It is more than that. It is also the shared decision, because when you're in a team, each one will have their own perspective, their own thought process, their own beliefs. So when you talk openly without any bias, you will have every chance that you can arrive at the best decisions, and there'll be a mutual support system which will help you to work together to achieve our goals. Now let's see how this EI plays major role in developing a effective teamwork. Now, if you see this picture says you, me, and in between comes the we. When we talk about empathy, what is meant by empathy and communication? Why these two are very important? When I say communication, as I told you earlier, it is not just about hearing something, it is something about listening. All of us, we hear. And the best part, you know what I have encountered, and I'm sure many of us would have encountered, and most of us are also like that. We only hear to reply. We wanted to somehow put our thought process before anybody could say, or we want to defend whatever the other person is saying, or we want to put forth our point and ensure that that is only being taken into consideration. So we all are have the habit of hearing or partially listen. So when I say partially listening, what does it say? It says you listen to what they say to reply. So you are already prejudiced and you wanted to reply to whatever they are talking. But when you say actually listening, it is an art. You call it as art of listening, where A stands for you need to attend to the speaker. Just give your 100% without any bias. Listen to what the communicator is trying to communicate. Then R stands for recognize from his point of view what he or she is trying to tell you. And then T stands for take time to respond or ask questions. But 90% we all react. That is why I said we hear to react. We hear to reply. So where does this empathy comes here? when you try to recognize what he or she is trying to tell you, especially with the clients, because clients may be good at sometimes, not good at most of the times, because when their work is done as per their requirement and when everything falls in place, they are happy. But many a times, our style of industry, our style of working environment, it doesn't happen that way. So it is very important to understand. I am sure that day in and day out, we face our customers getting frustrated, unhappy with us, giving unwanted words, trying to explain what they are in need and trying to, feel bad about our actions. All these things are happening day in and day out. But when you listen to them with empathy, what happens is you are learning to actively listen to the client's concern, empathizing with their frustration and anxieties. Many a times, their shout is not on you, but on our actions. When you are empathetic, you will be able to differentiate between whether they are pointing at me or at my work. So once you understand that it is a situational behavior, then you will be able to appreciate and acknowledge and empathize the frustration and the anxiety the client is undergoing. And such times, the best thing you can do is to remain calm and communicate with clarity instead of trying to defend yourself or to explain, give them big jargons. Instead of doing all those things, keep your communication very precise, concise, and with clarity and compassion, understanding them. When you communicate with the clients, that shows that you're empathetically dealing with the situation. So you will be having your perspective and he might be having his perspective. But when you empathetically handle the situation, that we part comes inside. And now this is not only with respect to the client. Most importantly, this effectiveness should be within your team members. That is why we say teamwork and collaboration. So with your team first, you should make them feel that you trust them and you are with them and you are there to support them and understand them. So make it very clear, concise, and timely communication is required with your team. When you listen to your colleagues and to their perspective, they feel very nice and they feel they are being respected and valued. And learn to give constructive feedback and open dialogues. When I say constructive feedback, in corporate world, we call it as sandwich feedback. Have you seen the sandwich? You'll have an upper layer and then a lower layer, and in between you will be having the stuffing. Now the stuffing is the most interesting part. So when we tell the corporate, when there is performance appraisal or when they are trying to point out the mistakes of their employees, we always say use the sandwich form. So the top layer is little bit hard and the lower layer is also little bit hard, but that would have become soft because of the stuffing that you have kept inside. Now when you are giving feedback, start with little pointing whatever mistakes they have done, then fill that gap with all the lovely things that the employee has done. Might have done so many good things. He would have handled a critical situation or he would have timely done some work. So point out all the good things. That will be the filler. So once you start appreciating all the good things about the employee, by the time again you come back to the pointer, he will not feel that bad. So that becomes constructive. So the most important point is when you are giving the feedback, let it be a sandwich feedback. Yes, you have to point out the mistake. You have to point out and tell them that how difficult situation their actions have put in. You have to do it, but in a very empathetic and in the sandwich way. So next time, please remember this. I would request you to try this model, because if you see the sandwich, the top layer is always hard. So momentary, impulsively, when you're angry with somebody, you will definitely yell at them. But immediately, what you do is fill up fill up with kind and good and appreciative things that they have done, and again come back to and make them explain what is really bothering you and what is the mistake they have done. So because you have already, the stuffing is really nice, juicy and tasty and yummy, that would have softened the lower bottom. So that time when you again reinstate their mistake, they will have a mind to hear and work on it. So constructive feedback, in fact, feedback is an art. Your feedback will help you to work on the retention, because all of us feel that people, they at the lower level especially, they never stay back. Retention is a big problem. But once, as an employer or as a senior member, when you learn to give them the constructive feedback, that gives a nice atmosphere within the team, and they will definitely stay with us and understand and also grow along with us. So we need to work on the we perspective. The next thing is stress management and resilience. Stress management, is there a day without stress? It has become like our breathing or our unconscious way of living. Stress management, nobody is without stress. One very funny thing I just wanted to share with you, which happened today morning. My husband was getting ready for a meeting, and yesterday he told me like he had to leave by 8 o'clock and things like that. So I made everything ready for him, and he was really surprised and he was happy. But at the same time, he was little worried. He came and asked me, Rama, is everything is fine? Everything is going on as per the schedule. I hope the day goes on well. I don't want any surprises to happen. We are so used to having stress that we can't even take up when some things are going very smoothly. So stress has become a part and parcel of our life. And the best part here is you cannot escape this. Even if it is not there, we specially invite them. They are as such uninvited guests. Always. Stress is always around us in our atmosphere. Even if things go on smoothly, we are not able to enjoy it, fearing that something might. So the best way to handle this is learn to manage the stress. And the best part to come up in life and whatever situation you are being pushed is the ability to bounce back. And that is known as resilience. Now, handling pressure, managing stress effectively under tight deadline and unforeseen challenges. You have to give the hope and support during stressful situations to your team members. Maintaining a positive attitude and resilience is the face of setback. And most importantly, we have to have the mindset to learn from the mistakes. Openly discussing and learning from past challenges will help us to overcome challenging situations. And this is a continuous process. It is not that, it's once done and then we just leave it and we think everything will fall in its place. There are always the element of surprise, and expect the unexpected is there in our life. So we all should develop the quality of managing our stress. Now, do you all see the picture here? Can somebody reply in the chat? What does this signifies and why have I put this here? I'll give you just 5 seconds if somebody can reply. And if Chaitali can read out the answer, then that will be fine.
Absolutely, Ms. Rama, we can do that. So participants, if we can have your replies.
Yeah. Or Chaitali, if you can take a wild guess, or anybody in the panel can also reply to this. Why
Okay.
have I put this? This doll represents Tanjavur Bommai.
Correct.
And yeah, and what is the speciality about this Bommai?
So, Mr. Sivakumar mentions whatever you push down, it won't fall.
Exactly.
Whatever you push down won't fall. When we have Mr. Kuppuswamy who says disturbance, we have Mr. Jairaj who says equilibrium. Then we have Mr. Kupuswamy again, who says if any hindrances are distance, the toy won't topple and it returns to equilibrium. Then we have Ms.
Yes.
Chandrakala, who says it implies flexibility. We have Mr.
Ah.
Sandeep, who says it's complementing. And of course, Mr. Sivasankar mentioned Tanjore doll, and Mr. Sundaram Dilip mentioned together.
Okay, this is the perfect example, according to me, for resilience. As these people have mentioned, yeah, if you try to push the doll, it will bounce back and it will come back to its shape. If you see, the bottom portion is very heavy and the top portion is very light. So whenever there is a stressful situation, you have to keep your mind very calm, very light. Only then, when there is a push, when there is a pressure, when there is a problem, when there is a stressful situation, you will be able to bounce back. So I just got this toy for my grandson, and when I saw the toy, and while I was playing with him, this really struck me. I thought I should use this, and this will be the perfect example for resilience, that is to bounce back. So, friends, whenever there is a stressful situation, if you notice, you become so heavy at the top and you become very fragile at your body level because your head is very, 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 very heavy. Now, at stressful situation like this doll, if you are able to keep your mind calm and light, you will have the resistance and you will have the power to bounce back. Now, the next thing is building trust. Nowadays, it is more important to concentrate on building trust more than with your spouse, with your employees. If they are not there, your business is not there, companies are not there, economy is not there. Nothing can happen without people working together as a team, collaborating with all their knowledge and support. The main thing stands here is the trust. Now, building strong relationship, it is not just a relationship or it's not the hierarchical relationship. It is the trust and respect that we give to each other in the working environment. There should be an open and honest communication. This open and honest communication, again and again, I'm reinstating that please follow a constructive feedback and maintain the decorum while talking and communicating with your peers or with your employees. And most importantly, small appreciations and acknowledgement and celebrating when an employee handles a tough situation or a tough client and completes the job, give them that credit of appreciation and recognition so that they feel worthwhile. And trust and respect cannot be built on one day. It needs a continuous effort from both the ends. So, celebrating success and acknowledging the contribution of each and every employee plays a major role in building trust and rapport. The next important thing is conflict. Conflict is nothing but when there is a disagreement, and when that disagreement is not handled effectively, it leads to conflict. And when conflict is not addressed, it leads to fight. Now, conflict, how do we actually understand this term? The disagreement what you have with your partner's opinion should not be connected with that person. Many a time conflict happens when you are not in good rapport with the person you're dealing with. So you must understand the situation needed a solution. And if the solution is coming from the person whom you are not comfortable with, should not be linked. The decisions, the arguments, the discussions should be kept away from your personal relationship, whether it is positive or negative, with that person with whom you are discussing or you're trying to find a solution. Your focus should be on the problem and not on the person. But many a times we try to combine these two things. And even if you get a good solution from that person, just because you're not comfortable with that person, we tend to deny it and then land up with greater problems. So conflict resolution means navigating disagreements constructively, focusing on finding mutually beneficial solution. So here, when I say mutually, it is not amongst you, but it is in link with the goal, in link with the solution for your company or for your client, or it can be any case with your common goal towards the organization. And this has to be maintained with respect and professional behavior. That is not the platform where you show your disagreements, your irritation, your frustration, because that is not going to solve the solution, but it is going to solve the problem, but it is going to aggravate the problem. And that will land up not only a bitterness amongst you, but also it will affect the goal of your organization. So, conflict resolution can be handled by developing emotional intelligence. Now, friends, I have brought some activities for you. So, I want all the participants to involve yourself, and I will be needing Chaitali's help to again have a discussion that has been put on the chat box by the participants. Now, here the scenario is it's for the freight forwarders. Your team is tasked with transporting a large shipment of high tech machinery from Japan to Brazil for a major automotive manufacturer. The machinery is critical for a new production line launch and faces tight deadlines. Okay, this is the scenario. Now, there are always an element of surprise and stress. The unexpected thing that happened is a major typhoon disrupts shipping operations at the Japanese port, causing significant delays. Now, the client facing production delays is escalating pressure and demanding immediate solution. Your team must find alternative shipping routes and modes of transport while ensuring the safety and timely delivery of the sensitive machinery. Now, tell me, what are the main things that you will be focusing while handling such a situation? Remember, you have to use your emotional intelligence in handling this situation. So, what are the things? What will be your task? And what are the things that you will be doing during such a time of need? And the activity, again, I'm putting it, the scenario I have put it. You can go through it one more time. And then please shoot your emotional intelligence way of handling the situation. What will be your task at that situation?
Man, Rama, this is like pressing on a nerve because all of us have gone through this so many number
Yes,
of times. Oh my
yes.
God, I think we should have a lot of answers. So for everybody who's here, listen, we
Mm,
all can do this we do this on a daily basis. So please, Mr.
suppose
Sivakumar
yes.
is the first one to reply. We can
Okay,
suggest to the customer to do an airlift mode.
okay.
And we are awaiting everybody else's replies. Thank you, Mr. Sivakumar. You're the first one to reply. Mr. Vishnu Prasad says, give update about the typhoon and its effect always. Yes. Mr. Shah, RP Shah says, explain the client of the situation and request him to join a visit to find out a solution as would be mutually agreeable. There's only just one problem here. If it's a third country shipment or a cross-strait shipment, we wouldn't be able to travel to Japan, but yes, that is also there. Miss Guru Priya says, first call everyone of the organization to discuss and take everyone's views and plan accordingly.
Yes. Okay. So, as a team, I have jotted down 5 points which are most important. Maybe I'm sure you all will agree with me. If not, you want to add or delete something, you can do that. As a team, you must first assess the situation. That is, analyze the impact of the typhoon on available shipping routes, potential delays, and risk to the shipment, which has been already shared. Then explore alternative options, investigate alternative shipping routes, whether it is air, sea, or land, the mode of transport, chartered flights, sometimes specialized vessels, and potential risks also that is associated with each option has to be taken into consideration. Then develop a contingency plan. Now, when you develop the contingency plan, outline a backup plan in case the chosen solution faces further unforeseen challenges. I have already told you, we all love to live with stress. If there is no stress, then when we feel like we are not living at all. So develop a contingency plan. Then communicate proactively. That is most important. Empathetic way of handling. Maintain open and transparent communication with the client, keeping them informed of the situation and progress made. Of course, even this was very nicely put up by one of the participants. Then collaborate effectively, share information, brainstorm solutions, and assign roles and responsibilities within your team, which is very, very important to ensure efficient and timely decision making is being done. So again, I would like to read one more time all the 5 points. As a team, what we must do is assess the situation, explore alternative options, develop a contingency plan, communicate proactively, and then collaborate effectively. So I'm sure you all will agree with me. Have you got anything to say? Okay, may I move on to the next activity? Okay, now this activity is for the custom brokers. So your team is responsible for clearing customs for a shipment of a high value antique furniture. Even we had this problem, so I thought I will put this, which is imported from Europe. The shipment includes several rare and delicate pieces with significant cultural and historical value. Now, unexpectedly, custom authorities discover a discrepancy in the declared value of the shipment, potentially triggering an investigation. Now, the importer is facing significant financial penalties and potential legal repercussions. Your team must work closely with the importer and custom officials to resolve the issue and ensure the timely release of the shipment. Now, again, I'll give you few seconds. Tell me what will be your task and what are the things you will plan to deal with this scenario.
Mr. R.P. Shah mentions, and which is very true, check the law.
Yes.
It's the most important when you are dealing with antiques, whether
Yes.
you require any permissions, certificates.
True.
Do we have any more answers?
Okay.
No one? Ah, yes, Mr. Rajendra Sawant. Firstly, we need to check with the customer for the purchase order, market pricing of the products, and other related documents to create a documentation record. Mr. Dilip mentions use the correct HS codes, which is very essential. Simmi Khanna says, I guess, all the documents. Mr. R.P. Shah, sorry, we can't say that aloud, Mr. Shah.
Okay. Okay, these are all the technical aspects. Please bear in mind, we are discussing about the emotional intelligence, how we are going to do it and what we are going to do, like how we did the previous scenario. So okay, let me go with that. So as a team, first, as you all rightly said, conduct a thorough investigation. Gather all relevant documentation, analyze the discrepancy, identify the root cause of the issue. All this has to be done. Then prepare a detailed response. Draft a comprehensive response to the customs authority explaining the discrepancy and providing supporting documentation. These are all keeping EI in mind, how we need to deal with the custom officials or with the scenario. Then the third one is communicating effectively, which is again very important. Negotiate with custom officials, which is very, very important. Clearly and professionally, presenting the importer's case and advocating for a favorable resolution. That is very important. Next comes the collaborative with the importer. Now work closely with the importer to gather necessary information, as you all rightly said, address any concerns and ensure their understanding of the customs clearance process. One of the participants had said that you have to, HSC code has to be mentioned properly. See, such things you need to closely sit with the importer and then make them understand the process. Many times they think that it is a delay from our end, but there might be some wrong filing or so many things could be there. So it needs to be addressed and closely with calm mind, empathetically make the importer understand, because he will be at his high limit of frustration. He would have touched the pinnacle and he will be, highly frustrated, irritated, angry, and what all negative emotions that can be there. Everything he'll be holding with tons and tons of baggages. So it's very, very important that you collaborate with the importer and make him empathetically understand the situation. Then minimizing the potential risk. Identify and mitigate potential risks such as finance, penalties, fines are there. Definitely, there'll be heavy fines which will be imposed on the importer. So that has to be dealt very, very carefully. Try to minimize it, because no importer or no custom broker will like to spend tons and tons of money on these fines and penalties and reputational damages to the importer. That is very, very important, isn't it? And it is not just the importer. Even as custom clearance agent, even we have to dance to that tunes. Even we are the affected party. So try to minimize the potential risk. So as a team, you must conduct a thorough investigation, prepare a detailed response, communicate effectively, collaborate with the importer, and try to minimize the potential risk. Having said that, now if you see in both the cases, in both the scenarios, we have some common takeaways. The first one is effective communication. Clear and consistent communication within the team and with all stakeholders is crucial for success. The second one is problem solving and critical thinking. Ability to analyze complex situations, identify potential challenges, and develop effective solutions, which is essential. Then, client focus. Prioritize client needs and maintain open and transparent communication throughout the process. This many a times we try to not to communicate to the clients because there might be some flaw from our end, and that creates a larger gap and more frustrations and lot of negative and unparliamentary words and what you call it, communication keep happening. So it is very important that you understand and prioritize the client needs and maintain a very, very open and transparent communication throughout the process. Then comes, because our main focus is customer. So our business runs because of the customer, because of our client. So it has to be a very, very transparent way of handling the problems and the situations. Then the adaptability and flexibility. Be prepared to adjust strategies and plans based on unforeseen circumstances. Expect the unexpected and always work with a plan B and C so that you don't waste much time in such a situation trying to analyze and spend more time on that. Of course, all these things can happen only when you have a good team and you are able to coordinate, have a trust, build a rapport, have a respectful environment, because all these things matters. Leverage the strengths of each team member to overcome challenges and achieve successful outcome. So summarizing, the takeaways are effective communication, problem solving and critical thinking, client focus, adaptability and flexibility, teamwork and collaboration. So that's it for today. And I will be seeing you next month with the third set of emotional intelligence needs, which will help us to be the better version of ourselves. Thank you so much. And over to Chetali. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rama. This was probably closer to what happens to all of us as compared to everything else, especially conflict resolution, because that is so essential when we are running the kind of companies that we are running, or we are working for the people where the stress. And what you mentioned about we can't live without stress, that is something that I hear on it on a daily basis from my father, saying that if there's no stress in your life, you don't know how to live peacefully. So
Yes.
it hits a lot closer home. We had one request actually. One of the participants wanted you, if we have the time, wanted you to explain the dolls back again, because they did
Okay.
not understand the concept. So if you have 2 minutes to spare, and you would be able to explain the concept again of the Tanjore dolls. Tanjore dolls.
Yeah, I'll do that.
And your examples were brilliant, very nice. Like I said, it presses on a already pressed nerve. So fantastic examples. It's so relatable. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
For Miss Gurupriya, I hope you are still here, because Miss Rama is going to explain the dolls back again.
Yeah. So this doll, it is lighter on the upper part of the doll, and it is heavier on the bottom of the, the base is very heavy. And that is the reason when you push the ball, it again bounces back. It again comes back, the doll comes back to its original position. It never tumbles down. It doesn't roll on. It doesn't fall completely. It will immediately, I'm sure you can get these dolls, if you go to Tanjavur or Kumbakonam or anywhere, I'm sure you must be getting these dolls. They must be hardly 50 rupees or 100 rupees, not more than that. I've got one plastic because I don't want my child to break the mud one. So that even the plastic thing has the same effect. The base is very strong, and it's nice to play. I wish I had that one in my hand now. This, what I felt, how it resonates to me is, if you are mentally very light, if you're feeling very, very light, you're able to handle the situation with a calm mind, the base, the knowledge, the experience with which you're running your business, or it is not only for your business, it is even for your day-to-day life. Lot of challenges we are facing, but if you are prepared emotionally, when you're able to handle your emotions in a more effective manner using your emotional intelligence, any given situation, you will be mentally stable, you will be able to focus better, you will be able to see the problem with an intention to get a solution, because your knowledge, your experience is so vast, which will come handy for you to handle the situations. But if you are mentally heavy, if you're mentally very upset, when you're mentally totally consumed with your problems, then you will not find a way to find solution. You will be only rolling in the problem. You will not even understand, or you will not even comprehend the situation, because you are already doomed into the problem and you see only problem around you if your upper portion is heavy. But if your knowledge and experience, with the knowledge and experience, if you are able to handle your emotions using the emotional intelligence, then any given situation, any problem, with a calm mind, you'll be able to handle better. I feel that's fine.
Thank you so much. We've got wonderful responses from everyone. And before
you.
we close the session and I do my closing, there were a couple of things. Mr. Nitin Arora, Ms. Shreya Singh, Mr. Parth Nalavde, Ms. Amrita Sharma, and Mr. Sivakumar have raised your hands. If you have anything to say, may I please request you to put it in the chat box. And for everyone present here, I would like to inform that IIFF has launched its training course, which is the Freight Forwarders course, and it is going to start by end of this month. There are details available with Ajinkya at the Secretariat. Therefore, we would request all of you that if you like our sessions, if you like the training that IIFF and FFAI is imparting, please do become part of the community and also join. Please also spread the word and come become students for life, because the alumni is probably better than some of the top business schools in the world, because you're going to have the real think tanks over here. Ajinkya is going to put all the details in the chat box. Ajinkya, if you can do that, please. And with that,
Yes, ma'am.
we conclude the session. Sudipta, would you like to say a few words before we close? Okay. Thank you very much, Rama, and yet another wonderful session. And where the month has gone, one doesn't really know. And this one has been fantastic because we all need teamwork and collaboration, whether you are a two-man show, you are a partnership firm, or you are a public or a private limited company. I think the best part about your sessions are the examples, maybe because you are from the industry, you understand what our pain points are, and you would have at some point or the other gone through either with your company or with Ravi's company, which is where it makes your examples very relevant and very valid. So the solutions that you come up with for the problems are actual solutions which are doable. And they are not just textbook solutions that are being offered. So thank you very much for that. And we look forward to next month's session with yet another topic on emotional intelligence. So thank you very much. Have a wonderful weekend, audience. And thank you, Rama. We look forward to seeing you next month again. Bye-bye. See you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. See you all. And thank you, everyone, for the positive feedback. Please do keep attending the sessions. And yes, we will be sharing the PPT. And we are working on the technical problem with the videos also. Thank you. Bye-bye. See you. Thanks. Bye.